Bitcoin is making a massive move above 40,000 US dollars. You can see we had just crossed 40,000 US dollars for a new all-time high. I had to make this video to talk about what's happening, what to watch, and where we're going to head next. As you can see here, we saw a pullback down to this daily open, and that was quickly bought up. However, we are starting to see significant sell volume. The next 4 hours is critical for Bitcoin for us to determine whether this is a blow-off top or not. As you can see here with what's happening, we've got the weekly open sitting at 33,000 US dollars. That is my absolute maximum support level for Bitcoin at the current price levels. And of course, you can see, just as we predicted in our video, as soon as we started to continue higher from that $38,000 level, we saw a push down. I told you guys this was unsustainable, and now the big question is whether or not retail traders are going to start selling, because so far, if we look at how volume looks on the 15-minute chart, we can see clear institutional sell volume, but we've also got institutional buy volume at the same exact time. Remember what we talked about in our video 2 days ago. Every time we see a major dip, in order for us to realize whether it's a bullish or bearish dip is how it's bought up by institutions. Of course, you've got PayPal, you've got Square, you've got MicroStrategy, Grayscale. They're all looking to purchase Bitcoin right now, and so we have to watch this volume. And so far, we are seeing significant sell volume, but the real question is, are retail traders going to follow the institutions? Because if you think like an institution, what they want to do at these high price levels is try to bring price down in order for them to get a better entry in Bitcoin. And so far, you can see we saw a massive push up from that daily open. We actually took a long right at that daily open. If you guys are a part of our Discord, I'll actually pull it up right here. You can see here on our day trades, we took a Bitcoin long here, and we hit all targets at 36,800, and that was this daily open. Of course, once we went ahead and crossed at that daily open, we took that long and we saw a big push to the upside. So the real question is, how is this hourly and 4-hour candle going to close in the next few hours? So the 4-hour candle, as you can see here, so far is leaning towards the bullish side, but it's very undecided. That's why you have these large wicks on the top and bottom. And so as we start to watch Bitcoin's price action, we have to see whether or not this 4-hour candle, as you can see, back to red, it is extremely undecided. And so we have to see whether or not we're going to stay above this daily open or if we're going to cross below this daily open. If we cross below this daily open, then the next target is going to be this weekly open and this ascending support level right at 33,000 US dollars. And so this is a very critical time for Bitcoin, a very exciting time as we've crossed $1 trillion in market cap, and Bitcoin has also hit this big even of over 40,000 US dollars. Now, when we look at what's happening to altcoins, we can look at Ethereum to the Bitcoin chart for a good gauge on how altcoins are reacting to this. We are not seeing much action when it comes to Ethereum to Bitcoin, and what that tells me is we are going to have to wait until Bitcoin finds a consolidation range until we start to see more action in these altcoins. But don't get me wrong, altcoins are most likely going to start to see action based on how dominance and others' dominance is looking. As you can see with others' dominance, we did see this pullback, but we're still above this weekly open, below the monthly open. And I think that's only because Bitcoin is starting to see more price action to the upside. And so when we watch Bitcoin dominance, we are still way and below this peak dominance level of around 73%. And so to me, with Bitcoin dominance being below the weekly open and below the monthly open, we still have a lot of room to go when it comes to altcoins, but it's all going to be determined on whether or not Bitcoin is going to be able to consolidate in between the daily and weekly open inside of this pattern. Of course, we can even draw a resistance level here, but at the end of the day, we have to watch the next 4 hours because that's going to be critical for Bitcoin as we start to see this 4-hour candle, whether it can close above or below this daily open. So far, price action on the smaller time frames are showing that there are still buyers in the market. Just as I talked about in our video yesterday, the buyers are still here, and of course, institutions are going to try their best to manipulate price and to bring price as low as possible for them to accumulate at lower prices. And so a lot of times what they'll do is you'll see these significant parabolic run-ups, and out of nowhere you'll see a major dump for them to see whether or not retail traders are going to follow. And so far you can see retail traders are not dumping. We are staying at these higher price levels. I even said this in our Discord. If you look at the crypto chat, I have a very good feeling that Bitcoin is going to just want to take a cup of coffee between the $39,000 and the $40,000 level. As you can see here, we can see on this chat. It's going insane. By the way, if you guys are not in our Discord, the link is in the description below. But of course, you can see here, Bitcoin taking a cup of coffee. People are going insane. And of course, right now with what's happening, you can see I said still a lot of buy pressure. So I don't see why it won't sit and have a cup of coffee between 39 and 40K. And that's exactly what's happening right now. We're having a cup of coffee right between that $39,000 and $40,000 big even. And we know that big even is a major psychological level. So at this point, we have to realize that Bitcoin is seeing an unsustainable rally, but it could still continue higher if institutions feel as if retail traders are not ready to sell. They will continue to buy up Bitcoin because that means that they aren't able to drive price down. Of course, a lot of you guys are experiencing outages with Coinbase and Binance and Phoenix and Bybit. Of course, that happens when a lot of retail traders jump into the market, and of course, a lot of them are going long right now. And so Bitcoin continuing higher is highly probable at this level, and currently we are watching that $42,000 to $43,000 range for the next price target. But being above this weekly and monthly open, Bitcoin is going to stay bullish, and the bulls are very hard to kill at this point. And so understand that what's happening in the next 4 hours is going to be critical to see whether or not this is going to turn into a blow off top or not. So far with the 15-minute volume, we are seeing significant sell volume, but we're not necessarily seeing a blow off top type of volume. And so I think that we have to really be patient here and realize that with this major buy volume that came after these two large sell orders, that to me shows that more institutions are still looking to buy Bitcoin at these price levels, and there's a high chance that retail traders will continue to drive price up. When we look at what's happening to the DXY, just as we talked about 3 videos ago, we're consolidating at this lower range, and for us to consolidate here, it's going to allow asset prices to continue to inflate, because until the dollar value starts to rebound and we start to see strength here, that's going to continue to allow assets to increase in price, especially with what's happening in the US. A lot of you guys are talking about what's happening at the Capitol and things like that. That's definitely driving these markets as specifically in US dollar value, and that's why we're seeing parabolic rallies when it comes to these cryptocurrencies right now, because as the dollar continues to stay at these low levels, their purchasing power diminishes, and that allows these assets to increase in price. So we are going to be watching this price action for you guys in the Discord. We are continuously and constantly updating you guys 24/7, and it's a lot easier to talk on the Discord than it is to make a video, but I want you guys to realize that currently we are going to have to see what happens to this 4-hour candle and whether or not we're going to be able to close above or below this daily open. If we're able to close above this daily open, there's a high chance that 40,000 was not the top, and we are going to continue to see higher prices until we start to see a blow off top, because at the current price levels, Bitcoin is in a very unsustainable bullish trend. And as we talked about in our video yesterday, we were going to see a pullback if we came up a little bit higher than that $38,000 level. That's exactly what we saw. We actually saw a pullback below that $38,000 level. But yes, this is our current target. So far, realize this, every time we've broken out, we've consolidated. We've broken out, we've consolidated. We've broken out and we've consolidated, right? And so currently we've broken out and we haven't yet consolidated. So the question is whether or not we're going to consolidate at this level. If that's the case, there's a high chance altcoins will start to rally. And if we start to see a blow off top type of volume, then we can assume that not only are altcoins going to see decreased value, but Bitcoin may start to come down to that $33,000 level at that weekly open and test that, most likely see a bounce. That's a very solid long opportunity. But of course, that bounce is only going to be short-lived, because if we come down to that weekly open, it's going to start to show signs of weakness. But so far, things are strong. We cannot assume that the bears are in control whatsoever, and we also have to think like an institution and realize they're going to try to drive price down by putting in these large sell orders when we're hitting these big psychological big evens like 40,000, and they're going to see how retail traders react. And so as long as you think like an institution, you're going to have an edge in this market. And so realize right now that $33,000 level is critical, but we've yet to find out whether or not the bears are going to come into this equation, because so far the bulls are in full control. So I'm going to try to keep you guys updated with what's happening. If we start to see price movement to the downside, I will update you guys on the downside price targets, but you know the weekly open is sitting at 33,000 and that monthly open is sitting at 29,000, and so keep those in mind. And of course, you've got this ascending support level here, and that's showing confluence with that weekly open. So those are the downside targets, but so far things are bullish. We cannot assume that there are any bears in this market right now, especially now that Bitcoin has hit the new big even psychological number of 40,000, and in total the cryptocurrency market cap has surpassed 1 trillion. What an amazing day. I cannot wait to see what happens with this next 4-hour candle, because if we close bullish, higher price levels are very likely. So until our next video, I will keep you guys up to date in the Discord. The link is in the description below. And other than that, let's just see where this goes. Snipers out.